So hello, I'm Sebastian from Arturia. So here we have Analog Lab software and key step with USB for MIDI control. I will show the different modes of key step. It's just a generic MIDI controller with a slim keyboard with a velocity and aftertouch, and it also has some sequencing possibilities. Okay.
You understand? Okay.
Yeah. So controller and sequencer and arpeggiator. This is the arpeggiator. So you can change the rate, the different playing modes. Okay, I can just hold it. Have a mod wheel, pitch bend. So a basic arpeggiator, and then the sequencer. It's a polyphonic step sequencer. So I can enter note as a step sequencer. So for instance, I can enter some silence. And then I can also use real-time recording. So and it's also a polyphonic sequencer, so I can and when my sequence is playing, I can either transpose the sequence or I can play on top of the sequence. We have multiple sequence memories, so you can create sequences and just switch between them. And one last mode is the chord mode. I can just, for people who don't play well keyboard, if they want to build chords, just hold 3 notes and then it plays the chord and transposes the chord. Alright, so that's key step.
So that's a smart, we try to make smart controllers. So you have the control aspect, but you can go beyond by having this chord mode, this sequencer, this arpeggiator. And if you look around, you will see many of the step products on other booths because they are quite affordable, quite easy to use. And the workflow is really made so it's instantaneous. I mean, there is no deep editing. It's really about touch, about the feel, about really the experience. We want something that is immediate, instant, and gratifying. So this is the key step. We have the beat step here, and this is the special black edition we are debuting at this show at SuperBooth, and we have the Beat Step Pro here. So 3 strong products for you to carry that can go to traditional musicians that need computer, but also to all the analog world. As you can see here, it works very well with through CVs, with all the modular systems and all the synthesizer. Again, it's a bridge between digital and analog, and clearly between performance, because you can use that on stage to sequence, and production, because you can also use that in the studio. So kind of smart controller for your customers to use. So this is the second line. So we have software, traditional controller keyboards with the key labs, mini lab, and we have those step controllers and sequencer. Something else we do is synthesizers. We do analog synthesizers. Do you understand? Do you need some translation? Everything's clear? Good. So the first one was the Mini Brute. And the idea with the Mini Brute was to bring back the beauty of analog that was like maybe 8 or 10 years ago now. And we really saw that there was a market for a synthesizer that will not be too expensive. This is $499, and right now it's even $399, with a very distinctive sound and a very singular approach. This is a small keyboard. This is very unique, and it's been very successful. It's in a way in my opinion, it's an iconic synthesizer now that we have created many years ago, and it's coming to an end. We're going to have a replacement at some point, but we're still carrying proudly the mini brutes. We also built the micro brutes, which is even a smaller synth. A lot of CVs. I don't know if you know this instrument with a small patch bay. Are you familiar with the micro brute? Some of you know the micro brute. Good. And we have the bigger one, which is the matrix brute here. And maybe one of us will give you a short presentation of the matrix brute. I don't know if I dare trying that.
I can show it to you. Maybe this one has speakers. So yeah, very briefly, I'll just take a preset. So it's an analog synthesizer. All the voice is analog. So the 3 oscillators, mixer, the 2 filters, and the VCA, and then the effects are fully analog. And on top of that, we have digital control to create modulations, envelopes, LFOs, and a sequencer. So let's just listen to a bunch of presets. Just to randomly pick some. So it's got a very big sound, which so to go quickly, the 2 first oscillators are very close to what we have on the mini brute, where you can mix waveforms together. So let's go back to the bar. I can add all the waveforms together, and each waveform has a wave shaper control. So 2 identical oscillators. The third one is more simple, just 1 waveform selection. You can mix them all together in the mixer. You can send them to either one or both filters. These here are the 2 filters. One is the Steiner-Parker filter. It's the one we use in the mini brute, but we enhanced it for the matrix brute. The mini brute is only 12 dB slope. This one has either 12 or 24 dB. It also has a drive control. So with the drive, brute factor, resonance, you can really shape the filter in many different ways. The second one is a ladder filter. It's a more classic design. The Steiner you don't find in many instruments. The ladder is more of a classic sound, but it's a very nice round sound. The 2 work very well together. You can use them in series or in parallel. From there you have 3 envelopes, 3 LFOs for modulation, and all the modulations are used in this matrix. This is a new approach that we use for creating modulation routings, where for instance, if I want to connect my filter to an LFO, I have my LFOs here, my filter, just activate a connection, set a modulation amount. So it's very easy to use modulations with the matrix brute. The matrix is also used to navigate the presets, like I did, and also as a step sequencer. Hold on. So I can just record a sequence, a bit like we showed on Keystep, and play it back. I can play it at different speed, add some swing, change the gate length, the rate. There's also an arpeggiator. So lots of features in a synthesizer, and everything is in front of you. There's no secondary functions, no display. It's really just hands-on control, and that was the general idea of the matrix brute. It's shipping now. It's 1999 euros.
Yeah, so it's a lot. We always try to bring good value for money. This is part of what we stand for. So we work hard on this. There is really the sound part, and there is the workflow. Are you really familiar with analog programming or not? I don't know how familiar you are but this is really the idea, to have two very strong filters, really good deep oscillators, to have all the modulations that are very accessible through the matrix. And this kind of new approach, I think, is mixing somewhere the best of yesterday and what you see tomorrow in product like Push, for example. The same kind of workflow, very hands-on again. You can see everything, you see your sound, you hear what you're doing, everything has a clear impact immediately. There is a lot of connectivity on the back, and that's also part of what we like to do. Really make sure we integrate well with the rest of the industry and the rest of the world. And yes, we think this synthesizer is a good one. So we'll be happy if you can sell that. Part of the Brute line, we also have a drum machine, which is here, which is called Drum Brute, and that was debuted back in November. Maybe you can give us a quick tutorial, Seb, a presentation of the Drum Brute. It's 17 instruments, all analog instruments, in one drum machine. That is extremely hands-on and easy to use again.
So yes, Drum Brute, analog drum machine. We can start, just listen to the different sounds. So. This is the first kick. It uses an oscillator and envelope on the pitch and the amplitude. The second one is a cleaner kick. It uses a resonant filter. It can go from very short to quite long. It can go very low in frequency, and you start to hear it if you use a bit of distortion, where you can really push that sound. Then we have snare. So for each voice, it's all direct control on the analog voices. So there's no double functions or anything. We try to have all the most important parameters to control the voice, and we try to have wide ranges of parameters. So it's not just one sound and a little variation. It's actually, you can really tune in the sound. I'm going to clap. Some more simple percussions, rim shot, just clave, very simple sound. Hi-hats. Two separate circuits. You can set the decays of both, change the pitch. Then toms and congas. And for instance, this one you have tom and conga on the same pad, but you have separate. You have separate sequences for each one of them. So, for instance, I could write a sequence for my conga, and then on the second one. So they use the same volume control and same pitch control, but you can do two separate sequences. So low tom, cymbal. The reverse cymbal is very unusual on a drum machine. And then some more percussions. All right, so let's just, I don't know, take the pattern and listen to it quickly. So the sequencer is, it's very easy to use the sequencer. When we see people that start using Drum Brute, they instantly understand how to work with it and just record it's very easy to record some new tracks, to erase them, start again. You can also use as a step sequencer, and you have some performance control. So you can set some swing, some randomness. And this this strip here is a kind of a looper. So. And at the end there is a Steiner Parker filter. So it's an analog filter. There are also separate outputs for each instrument, something that people use a lot to process their drums separately. So this is the drum root. It's available as well, and it's 449 euros.